Guess what? I'm filming a wine chat. You guys have been bugging me to bring him back. So we're here and we're back and we're gonna do this. So the thing that I want to say about wine chats is that it's really hard for me to film them when I don't know what topics I want to talk about. So if you guys want me to bring back wine chats regularly again, I'm going to need topic suggestions. So in the comments, leave me suggestions, any topics, anything you want me to cover, anything you want my point of view on, anything like that, leave them in the comments so that I know what you want me to talk about and I can babble and I can let you know. So the wine that we're drinking is the Peninsula Ridge Semi-Dry Riesling. And this is my new favorite wine. Oh, it's so good. If you like a Riesling, you will love this. If you do not like fruity or tangy wines, you won't like it. It's really easy drinking wine. My mom bought it for me and it got me hooked. But anyways, this wine chat is all about the wedding. I had wanted to make more videos about the wedding, but the time has just been going so fast and I really want to keep you guys updated and all of that. So I asked on my Instagram for you guys to leave me questions specifically about the wedding and what you wanted to know. And boy, did you leave me questions. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. So there's one that just popped up on here that I'm actually going to start with, and it's probably one of the last questions that was asked of me. I'm going to answer every single one of these questions. So if you left me a question on Instagram, it will get answered, I promise. But this video is also probably going to be pretty long. So if you like my ramblings, which most of you do if you're subscribed to this channel, then you'll look forward to this long video. So anyways, the first question I'm going to start with is, how are you maintaining a budget? So when I'm really lucky that I have the parents that I do. My mom is like super organized and super all about that budget. And so what we did basically, because we knew, come say hi. Because just Chris's arm says hi. What we do, well, what my mom did was, since where we're getting married, we have to rent everything. So basically what we did was we wrote down absolutely every single thing that we needed, and then we researched where we were going to get it from and we priced it out. And in our budget we included everything. We included my dress, Chris's suit, we included like everything. We even included like a miscellaneous like pot kind of thing, like but just in case kind of thing. And then that was our budget. So it was definitely a little bit more than I thought, but because it also included like everything to do with the wedding, it made sense, because there was a lot of little things that had to go into our wedding. Like we needed to get a shuttle service because of where the venue is, which I'm going to touch on in another question. So we needed to get a shuttle service, so that ups the cost. We have to bring everything to where we're getting married, so that can up the cost because it's not in a traditional hall or at a traditional venue where things are included. We have to do all the work to get everything. We have to get washrooms. That's an additional cost. So there are a lot of additional costs with choosing the venue that we chose, but I really wanted the venue that we chose, so I was willing to pay those additional costs. But we are staying completely on budget. Like I am like, if I need something, for example, we're not doing a wedding cake because my dress alterations are going to cost about $350, and so I had to figure out where I was going to find that money, so I cut the wedding cake. You know, if I really want a wedding cake, I'll just go to the grocery store and get a white round cake. I'm not the type that'd be like, oh my god, I need a wedding cake. I don't need a wedding cake. We'll have dessert at the wedding, so it's not like a end all be all for me. So it was an easy decision. Alright, so now I'm going to start right at the top. So first question, are you going to do your own hair and your own makeup for the wedding? So yes, I'm going to do my own makeup for the wedding, absolutely. I don't think I could let anybody else. just because I'm a control freak that way, like touch my face for my makeup. I think it would give me a lot of anxiety. But my hair, I'm getting my maid of honor, Grant, who is also a hairstylist, my man of honor. He is going to be doing my hair, and I am so excited. We're going to need to do a run through soon. Next question. I'm curious to know if you're making Chris's kids a part of your ceremony. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, 110, 50 million%. The girls are going to be junior bridesmaids. They're too old to be flower girls, and so they're going to be standing up next to me as bridesmaids. And Chris's son Kyle is going to be the man, the best man. And Chris is only having one groomsman, which is Kyle, and actually Denver is also going to be in our wedding party. And Denver is going to have a tuxedo and be a groomsman as well on Chris's side, and the girls are going to walk Denver down the aisle when we get married, and Denver is absolutely a part of it. We have a wedding website, and on it we had to put our, I put our wedding party, and Denver is part of that. So that was really exciting, and everybody's like, of course Denver's in your wedding party. Like, I wouldn't, Denver is a child to me and to Chris, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Next question, how did you choose your wedding style colors and theme? So we chose the theme based on the venue, which another person asked where the wedding is going to be and the theme. So 2 of you asked about the theme and stuff, so I'll touch on that in just this question. So we're getting married on my parents' property up in Northern Ontario. I have a few vlogs from my parents' property, so if you don't know what it looks like or where it is, check out my Thanksgiving vlogs, because I always have them at my parents' house, and I've got them here on this channel. It's a beautiful, huge horse farm, and I always wanted to get married there. My mother, who is also an ordained minister, and she's an officiant, she is going to be marrying us, so it's really special. We're going to be getting tents so that we have cover, one for, heaven forbid, if this guy decides to cry, and you know, and obviously to shade the sun. Yeah, and the theme is going to be vintage and rustic, so we're incorporating our, you know, favorite things, which is, I love vintage and romantic, and Chris and I both love rustic. So that's the theme that we're going with. A lot of wood, a lot of raw, a lot of wild flowers. We're planting all of our own flowers for the wedding. I'm going up, and one of my bridesmaids, Casey, is going to be meeting me on the property, and we're going to be planting all the flowers and making all of our own bouquets, and then all of the flowers for the property are just going to be random wild flowers, no set color scheme. The colors for the wedding that I decided to go with is accent colors when I needed like specific colors, because so much of it is just going to be the random colors of the scenery, is going to be burgundy, or like a Bordeaux, dark, deep burgundy, pistachio green, and a light champagne color. So, next question is, what type of dress will you be wearing? I'm keeping that a secret, only because 1, Chris is home right now, and 2, I just really don't want to talk about my dress at all until you guys see it. All I'm going to say is, I think I've mentioned this before, is that it's not lace. I didn't want a lace dress. Nothing against lace dresses, I just didn't, it's not my thing. So doing a non-lace dress, and then what the dress looks like and what kind of dress it is, you'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to be vlogging the day of my wedding, so you guys will get to see that firsthand when everybody else does. Next is, what are your wedding colors, which I already touched on, and what's your first dance song? So Chris was in charge of that. Chris is in charge of coming up with the romantic and slow songs, because Chris knows a lot of really beautiful music and a lot of not as well known artists and bands. Drink break. And he had a couple of songs that he really wanted, and when we were in Mexico, he wanted me to listen to a few of them. I didn't want to know what our first dance song was going to be, but Chris kind of was nervous and insisted that he kind of get an idea of how I was feeling and reacting to it. So the first dance song is called No One's Gonna Love You. And what's the band?
Band of Horses.
The band's name is Band of Horses. Yeah, and the song is No One's Going to Love You. That sounds like a terrible title, but it's a really nice song. And that's a song that means a lot to both Chris and I, and it's a song that is very special to us and makes me cry every time I listen to it. So I'll link it below, and if you're interested in hearing it, we're going to be playing the acoustic version of it, just the raw, natural version of the song. And the aisle song, actually, I'm not telling Chris what it is either, so I am going to be surprising him with that on the day of the wedding. So you'll have to wait and see about that one. And are you going to be going on a honeymoon? So we're just going to be going on a quick 4-day honeymoon to Niagara Falls, and then next year in the summer we're going to a condo in Florida for 10 days. Any advice on how, this is the one, so Terry, you're watching this. Any advice on how to make the wedding planning process smoother, such as organization tips? So I am so weird. I organize everything in my brain, which drives people crazy. I haven't written anything down at all. I kind of just been going with the flow because our wedding's smaller, less than 100 people, and on my parents' venue, and a lot of the stuff has to be done last minute. You know, like if you can see behind me, that pile right there, that's all the invitations, and I'm going to be putting those in the mail tomorrow morning. I haven't written anything down, but if I was doing a bigger wedding, I definitely would need a lot of like those wedding books with all of the organizational things in them, but I haven't done anything except for Pinterest. Pinterest has been amazing. I have wedding boards, I have secret wedding boards, I have boards for everything, and that is my main way to keep things organized. I found the table runners that I really, really wanted, and I got them off Etsy, and they're amazing, and I'm waiting for them in the mail, and I had pinned them like a year ago, and when I wanted to get my table runners, they were there, and I took me directly to the store. So even if you're not engaged, but you have an idea of things that you really want for your wedding, pin them, start a wedding board now. I started my wedding board like 3 years ago just for myself as reference points, so that I had those pinned, so that when I wanted to go back and go, oh my gosh, what was that thing that I really liked and I can't remember, I will have it. So definitely Pinterest is a must. Next question. Someone asked me if I was engaged. Yes, clearly I am engaged. Next, how do you know you're ready for marriage, and what made you realize you're ready for the next step in your life? That's a hard one. I think that's different for everybody. I think I knew I was ready for marriage because I just knew that I had met the person that I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and that's a feeling that is unexplainable. That's a feeling that is very personal for everybody. Like, I just know. I was very careful about knowing. For me, just knowing is like the thought of just not having Chris like in my life, or not having his kids in my life, like actually brings me to feel physical pain. So I knew that he was somebody that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and definitely wanted to marry. Hair up or down, curly or straight? Hair down and curly. Well, wavy, kind of beachy, messy, wavy. Next one is, have you always believed in marriage, or was this something you grew into wanting? I always believed in marriage. It was something I always wanted to do. I knew that I wanted that I wanted to get married, but I also knew that I wanted to be really sure, because divorce was not an option. And so a quick marriage wasn't something that I was interested in. I wanted a really long relationship, and I really wanted to build a life, and then I wanted to solidify that life with marriage. I didn't want my relationship to be about a wedding. I wanted it to be about a life with somebody, so I really wanted a long relationship. If you would ask me if I thought I would end up with a guy, no, I thought I was going to end up with a woman. I did not picture myself ending up with a man at all. I truly thought that I was going to end up marrying a woman. And I happened to fall in love with a man, and being bisexual, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You never know what you're going to end up with, and I'm really happy with who I've ended up with. The wedding you're planning now, is it the wedding you've planned always? Yes, I always knew that I wanted a small wedding on my parents' property. Originally though, I wanted a wedding that was camping, where everybody came with tents and we had bonfire and we camped. That just didn't seem feasible, as not all the guests are into that. So I switched it to just a daytime thing. Next one is, how are you going to spend your honeymoon? Lots of sex or lots of alcohol? Huh, well, since I love both, lots of both. And with that, oh.
Hello.
And the last question, how are you choosing your guest list without hurting people's feelings? That's what I'm having a hard time with. That's really easy. Disconnect yourself from those people. The way that I made my wedding list, I made my wedding guest list in 30 seconds. I got out a pen and paper and I wrote down people's names. And the people were flowing out of me. And the moment that people stopped flowing out of my brain, and the moment I had to start thinking about who I wanted at my wedding, is the moment I put the pen down. Because when you have to think about who you want at your wedding, when you have to think about those things, then they really shouldn't be there. So if you're wanting a small wedding, just write it down. We have 99% family, and I think a total of only 5 friends that we've invited outside of our wedding party. And to me, it's perfect, because if people's feelings get hurt, tough. Because if they were really a big part of your life and really, really important to you, then they would have been one of the first people that flew out of your brain to put down. Don't let people guilt you into inviting them to your wedding, because in the end, it's your wedding and it's your day, and that's all that matters. And if those people decide to leave your life because they're not there, that's their loss. You know, because it's going to be you and your day, and it's going to be special, and that's all that matters. So with that, my battery is going to die, so I'm going to end this video. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to Wine Chats being back. I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!